Well, what brings me at the WIN Symposium is really the possibility to exchange so many great ideas and new ideas, emerging ideas, and see actually how we can collaborate and increase, of course, the capacity of what we are doing, because today things are not possible any longer in silo, and knowledge and capacities have to be exchanged, certainly. The EORTC SPECTA Initiative, actually SPECTA stands for Screening Patients for Efficient Clinical Trial Access, and basically we created because there is no initiative currently in Europe, so pan-European and across tumor types, that would gather patients for profiling through their genotype and offer access to clinical trial. So we really built this initiative to maximize patient access, again, across tumor types and at the pan-European level, in order to address efficiently, in a timely manner, clinical trials in subsets of patients. So the initiative, we started with 5 tumor types, so we have 5 platforms. The first one addresses colorectal cancer, and it's up and running. We currently have about 250 patients that have already consented, with a very good tissue submission, biological material submission rate over 80%, so it demonstrates that it can work internationally despite the fragmented environment of Europe. We have 4 other platforms that follow very rapidly in melanoma, in neuro-oncology, and in lung cancer. And the last one will be in prostate. We have chosen these tumor types because, well, it was a matter of, I would say, compromises and interest in terms of feasibility, where there is a need, where our networks is ready to take such complex approaches, think differently. So I believe these tumors were a good compromise at the European level for the organization to get started. It doesn't mean that this is an end. If, of course, we are successful, we will certainly continue beyond these tumor types. What happens is, once patients have consented, so their tumor, but it can be extended, of course, to also blood. It's centralized in a central biobank where quality control of the biology material is performed. We proceed to, according to very specific and consistent, highly quality assurance protocol, to the extraction of nucleic acid, and from there, potentially, we test biomarkers of interest for potential entry on clinical trial. But what we offer is an opportunity for all the patients to benefit from next generation sequencing, and try from there, of course, to push a little bit better our knowledge and see what we can offer with these new technologies. So it's at the same time a platform for immediate clinical trial entry based on known biomarkers or emerging biomarkers, but also a platform of research through the next generation sequencing possibility. Well, the challenges have been, certainly things are much more difficult internationally because of the regulatory environment. So we know, and we know how to organize a prospective therapeutic clinical trials, and the systems, though challenging, of course, are made specifically for activating this type of trial. The regulatory environment is not made for activating, for conducting platforms that do not have a priori a therapeutic intent, because we cannot guarantee necessarily access to clinical trials. So it's changing the paradigm. I would say our ethics committees, competent authorities are not necessarily primed, don't have the full understanding of what it is today. So that has been a challenge. I would say probably the greatest challenge. The second one is to convince the scientific community that, for instance, biological material have to be centralized, quality assurance, so that we, all of us, have to leave a little bit the comfort zone and go more to mutualization of efforts. And this is something that needs to be, of course, needs to evolve. And possibly, that's what we hope, is that initiative like SPECTA will help actually the community to improve and to move more towards mutualization of efforts. So the initiative is made for clinical trial access. So we have given us, of course, some room of observation. We have our metrics that we are targeting in terms of number of patients to reach, proportional to the prevalence of alterations we could be targeting. And of course, one of the major metrics will be the downstream access to clinical trials, and how many patients will benefit of access to new drugs. So this is, of course, work in progress, and this is something we will have to monitor to ensure the success of this initiative. I think the initiative, what I would like to mention certainly, is that it also demonstrates, and maybe I hope it will serve the capacity to develop new type of interaction, new types of partnerships across the stakeholders. We are very, I would say, happy to have the active contribution of the European regulators, the European Medicine Agency, that really advises in building this program. So we are looking also at SPECTA as an infrastructure that will help building new forms of partnerships across the stakeholders.